Remember words by reading essays. The Stout Keeper of Cobweb Tales.
Today, we are going to study the passage, The Stout Keeper of Cobweb Tales. Please listen carefully the full text once from beginning to end so you can get a general sense of a story.
Michael had always been a stout and determined man, but running an antique bookstore in a small town was anything but easy. The store was littered with old books, many of them cobwebbed, giving a charming yet slightly eerie feel. Despite this, he worked tirelessly, often going out his way to organize rare collections for loyal customers. Some townspeople would take no heed of his advice about preserving rare manuscripts, leaving him frustrated. Occasionally, drunken wanderers would shamble about the aisles, adding to the precarious atmosphere of the shop. Michael's finances were patchy, and the local market was unfashionable and struggling, but he remained unyielding. He could not act willy-nilly. Every decision had to be carefully considered. His assistants, sometimes recalcitrant, were less susceptible to guidance, forcing Michael to double his efforts. The work was incessant, and the store's interior often looked jarring to outsiders. Yet Michael's passion remained undying. He made unremitting effort to modernize the catalog while respecting the store's history. He was never wonky about quality and customer service, ensuring every book was in the best condition possible. Even when critics were reticent about praising his store, Michael paid no heed and continued to offer unique experiences. Though he was sometimes loath to accept help, preferring to work unencumbered, his dedication in spades gradually built a loyal community around the bookstore.
Next, we will listen to the passage again. This time, I will pause at key points to explain important vocabulary and useful phrases, so you can better understand both the meaning and usage of the language.
Michael had always been a stout and determined man, but running an antique bookstore in a small town was anything but easy.
The word stout in the text describes Michael as someone strong, firm, and determined. It can refer to physical strength, but here it also highlights his solid character, someone who does not give up easily and stands firm in difficult situations. It suggests reliability and inner strength.
Does stout only mean physically strong?
Not only, it can also describe someone with strong willpower and determination, like Michael in the story.
So it shows both body and character.
Yes. It emphasizes both physical presence and inner strength, making the description more complete.
The store was littered with old books.
The phrase littered with means something is filled or scattered with many objects, often in a messy way. In the text, the bookstore is littered with old books, which shows that books are everywhere, giving the place a cluttered but atmospheric feeling.
Does it always mean something negative or messy?
Not always negative, but it usually suggests there are many items spread around, sometimes in a disorganized way.
Can it also be used in a positive sense?
Yes. It can simply mean full of, depending on context, though it often implies a bit of disorder.
Many of them cobwebbed, giving a charming yet slightly eerie feel.
The word cobwebbed describes something covered with cobwebs, which are the thin, delicate webs made by spiders. In the text, cobwebbed books suggest that the books have been untouched for a long time, adding a sense of age, neglect, and atmosphere to the bookstore.
Does it only describe spider webs?
Yes. It literally refers to spider webs, but it is often used to suggest something old or not used for a long time.
Does it make the place feel scary?
It can create a slightly eerie or mysterious feeling, especially when used in a setting like an old bookstore.
Despite this, he worked tirelessly, often going out of his way to organize rare collections for loyal customers.
The phrase going out of his way to means making extra effort to do something beyond what is necessary. In the text, Michael goes out of his way to organize rare collections, showing that he is dedicated and willing to do more than expected for his customers.
Does it mean he is doing something difficult?
It can involve extra effort or inconvenience. But the key idea is that he chooses to do more than required.
So it shows his attitude.
Exactly. It highlights his commitment and willingness to help others beyond the basic level.
Some townspeople would take no heed of his advice about preserving rare manuscripts, leaving him frustrated.
The phrase take no heed means to ignore something or pay no attention to advice or warnings. In the text, the townspeople take no heed of Michael's advice, which shows they do not listen or consider what he says about preserving rare manuscripts.
Is it the same as ignore?
Yes, it is very similar to ignore, but it often sounds a bit more formal or literary.
Does it mean they understood but chose not to listen?
Exactly. It suggests they are aware of the advice but decide not to follow it.
Occasionally, drunken wanderers would shamble about the aisles.
The phrase shamble about means to move in a slow, awkward, and often unsteady way. In the text, drunken wanderers shamble about the aisles, which creates an image of people moving clumsily and without control.
Does it mean walking slowly?
Yes. But more than just slow, it suggests a lack of coordination and a slightly unsteady movement.
Is it always used for drunk people?
Not always. It can describe anyone or anything moving in a clumsy or awkward way.
Adding to the precarious atmosphere of the shop.
The word precarious means something is unstable, uncertain, or not safe, and could easily go wrong. In the text, the precarious atmosphere of the shop suggests a feeling of instability or slight danger, as if things could become chaotic at any moment.
Does it only describe physical danger?
Not only. It can also describe uncertain situations, like financial or emotional instability.
So it means something risky.
Yes. It highlights a situation that is not secure and could change quickly or become worse.
Michael's finances were patchy.
The word patchy means uneven, irregular, or inconsistent. In the text, when it says Michael's finances were patchy, it means his income was not steady. Sometimes he earned money, and sometimes he didn't, making his financial situation unstable.
Does it mean something is broken?
Not exactly. It focuses more on being irregular or uneven, rather than broken.
Can it describe other things too?
Yes. It can describe anything that is inconsistent, like weather, performance, or results.
And the local market was unfashionable and struggling.
The word unfashionable means not popular or not in style. In the text, the local market is described as unfashionable, which suggests that it is outdated and not attracting much attention or interest from people.
Does it mean something is bad?
Not necessarily bad. It just means it is not currently popular or trendy.
Can something become fashionable again?
Yes. Styles and trends can change. So something unfashionable now may become popular in the future.
But he remained unyielding.
The word unyielding means not giving up and not changing under pressure. In the text, it shows that Michael remains firm and determined despite difficulties, continuing his work without giving in to challenges.
Does it mean stubborn?
It can be similar, but unyielding has a more positive sense, showing strength and determination.
So it describes his attitude.
Yes. It highlights his firm commitment and refusal to be easily discouraged.
He could not act willy-nilly. Every decision had to be carefully considered.
The phrase willy-nilly means acting without planning or care, in a random or uncontrolled way. In the text, when it says Michael could not act willy-nilly, it shows that he must make careful, thoughtful decisions instead of doing things impulsively.
Does it mean doing things quickly?
Not exactly. It means doing things without proper planning or control, often in a careless or random way.
So it's the opposite of being careful.
Yes. It contrasts with careful, deliberate actions, emphasizing the need for control and thought.
His assistants, sometimes recalcitrant.
The word recalcitrant means stubbornly refusing to obey or cooperate. In the text, Michael's assistants are described as recalcitrant, showing that they do not follow instructions easily and resist guidance, making Michael's work more difficult.
Is it the same as being difficult?
Yes. It means difficult to manage, especially because the person refuses to cooperate.
Does it always have a negative meaning?
Usually, yes. It suggests resistance and unwillingness to follow rules or guidance.
Were less susceptible to guidance, forcing Michael to double his efforts.
The phrase susceptible to means likely to be influenced or affected by something. In the text, the assistants are less susceptible to guidance, which means they're not easily influenced or controlled by advice, making them harder to manage.
Does it mean weak?
Not exactly. It means someone or something is easily affected, but not necessarily weak in a general sense.
Can it be used for things? Not just people.
Yes. It can describe people, animals, or even objects and systems that are easily affected by something.
The work was incessant.
The word incessant means something that continues without stopping. In the text, the work is described as incessant, showing that Michael is constantly busy and the tasks never seem to end, creating a sense of ongoing effort and pressure.
Does it mean very fast?
Not necessarily. It focuses on something that never stops, rather than speed.
So it means continuous work.
Yes. It emphasizes something happening all the time without interruption.
And the store's interior often looked jarring to outsiders.
The word jarring means something that is shocking, unpleasant, or out of harmony with its surroundings. In the text, the store's interior is described as jarring to outsiders, which suggests that the appearance may feel uncomfortable or strikingly out of place compared to what people expect.
Does it mean something loud?
It can be used for loud sounds, but here it refers to something visually or emotionally uncomfortable.
So it means it doesn't fit well.
Yes. It highlights a strong sense of mismatch or something that feels disturbing or out of place.
Yet Michael's passion remained undying.
The word undying means something that never ends or does not fade away. In the text, Michael's passion is described as undying, showing that his enthusiasm and commitment remain strong and constant over time, no matter the difficulties he faces.
Does it mean literally living forever?
No. It is used in a figurative sense, meaning something that continues without fading, like feelings or dedication.
So it describes strong and lasting feelings.
Exactly. It emphasizes something that remains constant and does not weaken.
He made unremitting effort to modernize the catalog while respecting the store's history.
The phrase unremitting effort means continuous effort without stopping or giving up. In the text, Michael makes unremitting effort to modernize the catalog, which shows that he works steadily and persistently, never reducing his dedication despite challenges.
Does it mean working very hard?
Yes. And more than that, it means working hard without taking a break or losing focus.
Is it similar to incessant?
They are related. Incessant focuses on something that never stops, while unremitting effort emphasizes continuous, determined effort.
He was never wonky about quality and customer service, ensuring every book was in the best condition possible.
The phrase, never wonky about, means never careless, sloppy, or of poor quality. In the text, when it says Michael is never wonky about quality and customer service, it shows that he is very careful and consistent, always maintaining high standards.
Does wonky mean broken?
Not exactly. It often means something is not stable, not well made, or a bit off, especially in quality or performance.
So this phrase shows he is very careful.
Yes. It emphasizes that he is precise and committed to doing things properly without cutting corners.
Even when critics were reticent about praising his store.
The phrase "we're reticent about" means being reluctant or unwilling to speak openly or express approval. In the text, critics were reticent about praising the store, which shows that they hesitated to give positive comments or remained quiet instead of offering praise.
Does it mean they were silent?
Yes. It often suggests they chose not to speak much, especially about their opinions.
Is it the same as being shy?
Not exactly. It refers more to holding back from speaking or expressing something, rather than general shyness.
Michael paid no heed and continued to offer unique experiences.
The phrase paid no heed means ignored something completely or did not pay attention to it. In the text, Michael paid no heed to the critics, showing that he chose not to listen to their opinions and continued focusing on his work instead.
Is it the same as take no heed?
Yes. They are very similar and both mean to ignore or not pay attention.
Does it show his attitude?
Exactly. It highlights his determination and confidence in not being influenced by others' opinions.
Though he was sometimes loath to accept help,
The phrase loath to means being unwilling or reluctant to do something. In the text, Michael is loath to accept help, which shows he is hesitant and prefers to handle things on his own rather than rely on others.
Does it mean he refuses completely?
Not exactly. It suggests reluctance or hesitation, though sometimes it can lead to refusal.
Is it similar to unwilling?
Yes. It is very close in meaning, highlighting a strong sense of hesitation or resistance.
preferring to work unencumbered.
The word unencumbered means free from obstacles, burdens, or restrictions. In the text, Michael prefers to work unencumbered, which shows he likes to work without being held back or weighed down by others or unnecessary responsibilities.
Does it mean working alone?
Not necessarily alone, but without anything that slows you down or makes your work difficult.
So it means being free to work easily.
Yes. It emphasizes a sense of freedom and lack of interference or burden.
His dedication in spades gradually built a loyal community around the bookstore.
The phrase in spades means in a large amount or to a very great degree. In the text, it says Michael's dedication was in spades, which shows that his dedication was not just strong, but abundant and clearly visible in everything he did.
Does it mean a lot of something?
Yes. It emphasizes that something exists in a very large or impressive amount.
Can it be used in everyday conversation?
Yes. It's a useful expression to stress that something is present in abundance. After that, we will listen to the full passage once more without interruption. Try to focus on how the vocabulary and phrases connect within the context of the story and reinforce your understanding.
Michael had always been a stout and determined man, but running an antique bookstore in a small town was anything but easy. The store was littered with old books, many of them cobwebbed, giving a charming yet slightly eerie feel. Despite this, he worked tirelessly, often going out his way to organize rare collections for loyal customers. Some townspeople would take no heed of his advice about preserving rare manuscripts, leaving him frustrated. Occasionally, drunken wanderers would shamble about the aisles, adding to the precarious atmosphere of the shop. Michael's finances were patchy, and the local market was unfashionable and struggling, but he remained unyielding. He could not act willy-nilly. Every decision had to be carefully considered. His assistants, sometimes recalcitrant, were less susceptible to guidance, forcing Michael to double his efforts. The work was incessant, and the store's interior often looked jarring to outsiders. Yet Michael's passion remained undying. He made unremitting effort to modernize the catalog while respecting the store's history. He was never wonky about quality and customer service, ensuring every book was in the best condition possible. Even when critics were reticent about praising his store, Michael paid no heed and continued to offer unique experiences. Though he was sometimes loath to accept help, preferring to work unencumbered, his dedication in spades gradually built a loyal community around the bookstore.
That brings us to the end of today's lesson. Thank you for your attention and participation. I hope you have gained a clearer understanding of the text. We will stop here for today and see you in